S-P-I-R-I-T, Spirit. Let's hear it. Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of The Collection Show. My name is Chris. This is the show where I or someone I know or one of you shows off their collections and talks about, why you collect it, why this collection is important to you, that kind of thing. So we've only done one episode so far where I talked about my Disney pin collection, and we're going to continue down that Disney rabbit hole because we're going to talk about one of my newest Disney collections, and that is Spirit jerseys. So if you don't know what a Spirit jersey is, it is kind of a trend that started like a couple of years ago in like 2017, 2018. It's essentially a light sweater. Has big, bold lettering on the back and usually a fairly simplistic but really cool looking design on the front. Now, I didn't hop on the Spirit jersey train as soon as they started. I mostly thought they were kind of an interesting novelty, but they were expensive. And on top of that, you don't get a ton of use for them in Florida, except for the couple months where it can get kind of cold. So I wasn't super keen on jumping on this trend immediately, but I've come around to it, especially since I've been going to California on a fairly regular basis. I usually go at least 2 or 3 times a year, and you use them almost every day there because it gets kind of cool in the evenings. So having the Spirit jersey is really nice because it's kind of the perfect light sweatshirt for you to wear when you're out in California or other places where it gets cold in the evening. So I got my first one, I believe it was 2018, and I got it at Disneyland. So this is the July 4th, 2018 Spirit jersey. It's the Disneyland Resort, red, white, and blue. And then on the front, you have that classic Disneyland D logo, established 1955. So the reason why I got this one was actually out of necessity. It was right around July 4th, and the evenings were getting kind of cool over in Disneyland. I didn't bring any kind of jacket because I was foolish back then. So I decided, you know what? Might as well jump in feet first and get my first Spirit jersey. So that was my first one, and that was kind of the only one I had for about a year. I really started collecting Spirit jerseys and quote-unquote collecting because there are so many of them at this point in 2019. So the trend really started, I believe it was the end of 2017, kept going through 2018, and then 2019 and 2020 is where it's just kind of become a mainstay for all theme parks. Not only does Disney have Spirit jerseys, but Universal has them. I've seen them at Knott's Berry Farm. I've seen them at SeaWorld. So it's kind of becoming a big trend with theme parks to create these Spirit jerseys. People enjoy wearing them. They're a nice light jacket, and I admit I enjoy the designs. So that was my first Spirit jersey, was the Disneyland 2018 4th of July design. As the year went on, I didn't really find that many designs that I was particularly into. Most of them are designed for women. That being said, there are some designs that do appeal to men, and that's mostly what I have. But it's definitely something that's kind of meant to appeal more towards women. But again, I like them because they're comfortable. It's a nice light sweatshirt and they look pretty good. So that's why I've started collecting Spirit jerseys. So my second Spirit jersey I actually acquired in January of 2019, so last year, and that is the Epcot Festival of the Arts 2019 Spirit jersey. The reason why I was drawn to this one was of this guy. If you don't know who that is Figment. He is kind of the unofficial mascot of Epcot and one of my favorite Disney characters. I've always been a huge fan of Figment, so whenever there's Figment Brennan merch, I have to get it. I'm disappointed that I was not, unfortunately, able to get the Festival of the Arts 2020 Spirit jersey because it's even more Figment-y. I might try to find one somewhere, but I wasn't able to get it while it was on sale for Festival of the Arts this year. So a little disappointed, but I also bought a lot of other Spirit jerseys, which you'll see in a second. So of course this one What's kind of cool about it is it's a tie-dye design. So very colorful, very psychedelic. And then on the back, it's got Epcot International Festival of the Arts 2019 on it. So this one, of course, you cannot buy anymore. And I will kind of try to notate which ones you can still find and which ones you can't. I also like to point out, and I should have pointed this out right at the beginning, just realized, Spirit jerseys, if you're looking to collect them or get one, they're typically priced at $65 plus tax. They're not cheap, but the quality plus the look is kind of what you're going for. So if it's something you would appreciate, it might be worth the price. So that's just the train of thought. So these are not cheap, not at all. So the next one I got actually at Disneyland, and the reason why I got this one is I got it cheap. It was much cheaper than the advertised $64.99 price. And that's because it was for a special event sort of attraction at Disneyland that ended before I got this. That is Pop-Up Disney. It was kind of a little art display that was held at Downtown Disney at Disneyland. So on the front, of course, it's got the Pop-Up Disney logo for 2019. And then on the back, you have the Disneyland logo, and then there's a cool pop art Mickey on the back. I mostly got this one, even though I didn't actually go to the event, because A, it's another cool Disneyland exclusive design, and second, I think it's kind of cool, the pop art Mickey on the back and on the front. So I thought that was a cool one, and again, I got it at a cheaper price, so I feel it was worth the pickup. So the next few ones, I will try to notate which ones are still available that you can find in the parks and kind of how much they are. Some of these you will not be able to acquire anymore, and I'll kind of notate those. So the first one, and I really like this design. I also was not made aware until I saw it. This design was even available in Florida. When I first saw this design, it was part of the Lunar New Year celebration 2020 in Disneyland, because Disneyland does a bunch of stuff for Lunar New Year, but that never really came over to Disney World. But the Spirit jersey did. So on the back of it, it's got Chinese lettering and it says 2020. Oh yeah, and it says Happy Lunar New Year right there. Now, one thing that I really like about this one is if you look at the sleeves and on the bottom, you have all these really cool looking gold and red accents. You've got like Shanghai Disneyland's castle, you have lanterns, you have fans, a lot of things relating to Chinese culture, which I think is really cool. So this is definitely one of those showstopper Spirit jerseys that I'm very glad I grabbed when I did. And I like the fact that on the front, you actually have the Walt Disney World logo, which this is the first Walt Disney World branded Spirit jersey that I have, because I never thought about getting one for home. I always think about getting Disneyland's. So it's cool because it's a red and gold logo. It's got Walt Disney World, it's got Chinese Dragon, and of course Mickey Mouse. So I like this one a lot. I've been wearing it quite a bit lately just because I do think it's kind of a showstopper Spirit jersey, so I enjoy it a lot. The next one is my most recent purchase and probably my favorite Spirit jersey. Now, as many of you who've watched mostly the Thrill Seekers know, but also if you know me personally, you know that I am a huge fan of Epcot. Epcot is and always will be my favorite theme park of all time. Mostly because of the fact that I went there all the time as a kid. I remember all the classic Epcot elements, from the old rides to just how it felt back in the early 90s and 2000s. So the new Epcot transformation that's currently going on feels a lot more like the old Epcot I used to know. Obviously, they're making some pretty drastic changes to the park, and I'm kind of excited for them because I think it's going to bring a lot more attention and a lot more appreciation to Epcot. But one of the things that I absolutely love is the new Epcot logo, which is basically a slightly more refined version of the old Epcot logo. Now, I've already purchased, and I'm sure you've seen in various videos, the hat and the shirt that feature the new Epcot logo. But they released a Spirit jersey at the end of 2019. Now, when I first tried to get the Spirit jersey, it was sold out almost immediately. And I was devastated because I seriously thought I would not be able to acquire this one. That's one thing you'll want to note if you are going to try to pick up a number of different Spirit jerseys. If you see one you like, I would highly recommend grabbing it as quickly as possible, because you don't know which ones are going to be quickly discontinued. Especially when it comes to the specialty colored ones or special event ones, those are going to be discontinued the fastest. There are some other ones that I have, which I'll show you in a few minutes, that are still available. But a lot of times, if you don't pick up a Spirit jersey as soon as you see it, you're probably not going to be able to get it naturally. You might have to buy it in the secondary market. A couple weeks ago, I went back to Epcot to review the Regal Eagle Smokehouse, and I'm sure you saw I was wearing the Epcot Spirit jersey. So yes, I was able to find one. Now this one, I think it's still available. I don't know for sure. If you can find it, it's actually a little bit more expensive than the normal Spirit jerseys. It's $69.99, so it's a $70 Spirit jersey, but I love the design. So it's a very simple black Spirit jersey. On the front, the only thing you see is the old school classic Epcot Center logo. And then on the back, it is the brand new / old Epcot logo. What I love about this one is the simplicity. Not only is it classic Epcot as well as new Epcot, but it's something you can wear that's not overly flashy. It's basically the exact opposite of the Lunar New Year one. I like that one because it's flashy and it's something different. The Epcot one, it doesn't stand out, and that's kind of the idea. It's black, it looks classic, it looks simple, and I love that. If you're a big Epcot fan like myself, check at the very front of the park. They might still have some, I don't know for sure. I found it a couple weeks ago, so you might be able to still find one. Anyway, now we're gonna go into some branded ones, which more than likely you'll be able to find still. All of these are the same price. They're all the $64.99 variety. So you might just have to look around to see if they're still available. I know some of them still are. Again, if you know me very well, you know that my favorite Disney character of all time is Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger. So naturally, when they released a couple different Toy Story branded Spirit jerseys, one of which, my boy, Buzz Lightyear, I had to get it. And this one is pretty awesome. So if you look on the front, it's Buzz's suit. It's got a Space Rangers logo, it's got the buttons, it says Lightyear on the front. One of the sleeves actually has this like different pattern than the other sleeve, kind of like Buzz's suit. And then on the back, it says Space Ranger action figure. So this is another really well themed one. I actually have the Buzz Lightyear shirt. They came out a long time ago, so I can kind of wear that, and then if it gets kind of cold, I can wear the Buzz Lightyear Spirit jersey over it. That one I believe you can find at Disney Style at Disney Springs, so if you're looking for it, that's where you can find it. They also have some other Toy Story branded ones, like they have a Pizza Planet one, and they have the Woody one. So there's a few different Toy Story branded ones available at that store. Next one you can find at Animal Kingdom. It's very prominent at Animal Kingdom. It's a nice design, especially if you're a fan of my favorite classic Disney animated film, and that is The Lion King. On the very front, you've got the Lion King logo, and then on the back, Hakuna Matata, means no worries. And of course, you got classic Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa. This one I actually acquired at Disneyland because at the time it wasn't available at Disney World. I looked around for it beforehand because I saw it online and really wanted it, but it wasn't available in Florida. So when I saw it at Disneyland, of course I had to grab it. And then later on, it became available in Florida. Now, if you go to Animal Kingdom, you're going to see tons of them. They're all over the place. So that one's pretty easy to find, especially if you go to Disney's Animal Kingdom. You can pick it up in Florida. The next one. This one I saw online and was like, yep, I have to get it, because another thing that I'm a huge fan of is Star Wars. Now, there have been a number of different Star Wars spirit jerseys that have come out since this one. This one is the first one that I've seen. There was an official Star Wars branded spirit jersey. But since then, they've released a slightly different version of this one. It was more in line to the original trilogy. They've also released ones based on different Star Wars planets. Like there's a Hoth one, and there's a Tatooine one. There's another Star Wars one which I did acquire, which I will show you in just a moment, which you've seen because it's in the thumbnail. But this one I really like. I actually got this one right before I saw Rise of Skywalker, because I figured, you know what, I should be rocking a Star Wars spirit jersey when I go see the new Star Wars film. So on the front, it's got the Empire and Rebel Alliance logo on it. That's pretty cool. I wish they had like the First Order version. It's the Empire and the Rebel Alliance. And then on the back, you have Star Wars with stars inside the lettering in gold. It looks really sleek. I like the gray. Again, that's kind of a spirit jersey you can rock with almost anything, and it looks good, so I like that one a lot. This one you've seen all over the internet, because of course, one of the biggest trends of 2019 towards the end of the year was The Mandalorian, the show on Disney+. And of course, the biggest thing to come out of The Mandalorian, besides the fact that the show is awesome, is the child, or as everybody on the internet tends to know him, Baby Yoda. So, of course, Disney, as quickly as possible, released a Baby Yoda Mandalorian spirit jersey. This one you can literally find anywhere. It's an Animal Kingdom, which makes no sense, but you can find it any park. So you don't have to look very hard to find this one. On the front, of course, you have the child. Really nice, cool design. On the back, it's got Star Wars, the Mandalorian logo, just like in the show. I like that one a lot. The kind of mint green is not a color that works with every outfit you can come up with. And again, I know I'm no fashion expert, but you know, it's some of these colors are a little harder to make like fit what you're wearing than others. This last one I thought was especially cool, and there's only one place in Florida that I found it. I'm pretty sure it's the only place in Florida where you can find it. Now, of course, we have Pixar spirit jerseys, we have Disney spirit jerseys, we have Star Wars spirit jerseys. What's one more wildly popular branch of Disney that Bob Iger acquired that needs a spirit jersey? Marvel. Yes, they have released a Marvel spirit jersey. No, it's not based on a movie or any existing character. Well, it is based on existing characters. But this one is actually inspired by Marvel Comics and not the Marvel Cinematic Universe or anything of the nature. And I really like the design. I also like the color, because the color actually works well with almost anything. Again, which is kind of nice for some of them. So on the front, you have the Marvel Comics Group logo. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting about this one is it actually has a secondary logo in kind of a weird spot. Lower on the chest, you actually have a Marvel Celebrating 80 Years logo. Celebrating 80 years of Marvel Comics. And then on the back, you have Marvel Superheroes, and then little old school comic book designs of some of your favorite Marvel heroes. So I really like that one quite a bit. That was one of my most recent purchases. I only found it at Disney Springs inside the Marvel shop. I'm sure if you go to Disneyland, you can probably find it other places because they can't sell Marvel merchandise inside the parks in Florida. But I did find it at Disney Springs. The last time I was there, They did have it in stock, so I don't know if they'll still have it in stock, but they did the last time I was at Disney Springs, which was a few weeks ago. So if you're looking for the Marvel Spirit jersey, you might still be able to find it. So there you go. That is my Spirit jersey collection, as it were. I have a Spirit jersey I can wear for pretty much any occasion, and I'm not done collecting them. There's actually a few I've still kind of eyeing picking up eventually. So, of course, again, because these are kind of expensive, they're not something I can pick up all the time. I can only pick them up when I have the funds available. So, they're pretty cool. I like them a lot. They're really nice, comfortable sweatshirts, and like this time of year, it's cool in the evening, so it's kind of a great thing to bring around when you're going to the parks or, you know, gonna stay out after dark. So I enjoy them. I think it's worth getting at least one of them because they're pretty fashionable and they're really nice to wear. And like I said, I have some pretty interesting like stories of when I got them and why I got them. So it's funny how getting one of a thing like this all of a sudden can spawn into a collection if you're not careful, and now I have like a bunch of them. So, but hey, they're pretty cool, and I'm glad I have a nice variety of different things. And you know, whenever I need a Spirit jersey to wear when, you know, some big movie or expansion or whatever comes out, I've got one. So pretty happy with that. Anyway, that is going to do it for episode 2 of the collection show. I hope you enjoyed it. What do you collect? I want to know in the comments below. Also, if you collect Spirit jerseys, what is your favorite? Feel free to leave a comment. And who knows, maybe your comments will be featured in a future episode of the collection show. I'm going to try to keep every now and again popping in one of these on the weekly schedule just because they're kind of cool, and I figure I collect some interesting stuff, and I'm sure people want to see them. At least I hope they do. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of the Collection Show. Remember, new videos come out every day at noon Eastern Time, so be sure to hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, that way you'll know when new videos release. Also, if you want to, become a Patreon patron by going to patreon.com/BigCTV. Help me fund my Spirit jersey addiction, but also help me create more content for you. I have to self-fund everything that I make on this channel, and sometimes these videos are not cheap. I have a number of videos that I want to do that I can't until I can save up some money. So if you want to see these videos come out more often, or having big videos come out more often, become a patron. Help me do it. That way I can release more content for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Collection Show. Bye.